it's your girl Meesh. Welcome to another episode of Love Meesh, where I share my thoughts, opinions, and ramblings, and sometimes I'll have guests over, but no subject is off limits. It's a billion people in the world, and I'm one of them. So welcome to my world. Let the conversation begin. Hey, loves. It's me, Love Meesh. And I'm back with another episode. And this topic is going to be about something that I've been dealing with since about February. So if I have been mean, bitchy, aggravated, MIA, whatever, it's because you couldn't help me. It was something that I had to go through on my own. And I had to have a lot of patience, which we all know I don't have. And I'm finally over it. So the topic would be bankruptcy. Bankruptcy. Okay, so this is definitely going to be story time. I didn't just wake up one day and say, let's do bankruptcy. Hell no. So let's start from the beginning. Rewind. Blah, 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 blah. That was my rewind music. So back when I was so young in love, me and my significant other were living together, and there was only one car. It was very hard getting to work with just one vehicle. I would have to get up early to get him where he needed to go and to go to work, or vice versa. Just very, very hectic. So I got this bright idea that you need a car, right? Luckily, my cousin, this is a plug. Shout out to my cousin, has a car lot. And I was like, well, let's go see if we can get you a car. So I'm going to add the little plug for his information here. If you or anybody that you know need a car, please, please, please reach out to my cousin and his car lot business. The name of it is called Main Street Connection. I have the details in the bio, so please feel free to look up the address, telephone number, XYZ. Actually, my sister just got a car from him. So if you don't want to hear the word no, I'm pretty sure he can work with you. You got to give him something to work with, though. If you give him something to work with, he can definitely work with you. So that's my plug for my cousin. Shout out. Okay. So went to my cousin, was like, hey, cousin, we need a car. This was flag number one. Ladies, please listen. Not even my ladies. If my little boos are listening. Do not get something in your name for someone else. I don't care if you love them. I don't care if it's your parent. I don't care if it's your damn child. Just don't do it. You know how they say don't mix business with pleasure? It be all fine and dandy until the shit hit the fan. At the end of the day, once you sign the dotted line, whoever needs to come after whoever, they're going to go after the person that signed the dotted line. They don't want to hear XYZ. The fact is you signed stating I am liable no matter what. That's what that signature means. So just don't do it. The only person that you should ever sign for is yourself. Or that marriage certificate. And then when y'all got the same last name, good. Because if y'all ever end and it go to divorce court, it's easily managed between the two. They usually split it between the two of you. Versus when you're not married and you sign, oh well, deal with it. Whoever signed, you're going to handle it. So let me back up and get back to the story. First flag was, I think my cousin was like, do you have a driver's license? His answer was no. Like, definitely. That was clue number one. And then he was like, I think like, do you have a job? Do you have a pay stubs? I don't think he kind of had that together. I know he had a job, but I don't think he had that together. But driver's license, you definitely not going to get no car if you don't have that. And then he didn't have insurance, and I didn't put him. Yes, I did. I think I did put him on my insurance. That's another thing. If you ain't married, get your own insurance and let your boo thing have their own insurance, because right now when I get insurance today, they pull up two people's names. We is not together. And I'd be like, why is their name still there and we're not together? And I don't need that affecting my score. And they say it don't mean nothing, but why is it still there? But anyways, so I showed him my pay stub. You know, I had everything. So my driver's license, my pay stubs, my insurance. So it's like, okay, $500 down, you can get the car. So he kind of worked with me because I was in between pay periods. So he was like, okay, well, and this is probably family, probably not for everybody, but it was just for me, my experience. Just bring me the $500 when you get paid. So that's exactly what I did. I was good for my word. He got a car, by the boom, by the bang. We were on the road to getting married. My mom was helping me look for venues, get invitations. My dad was helping me with the guy in the church, like what we're going to eat, what's on the menu. Like, we literally was about to do this thing. So I remember, and I was so happy. I remember when I ordered the invitations from Walmart and they came in. I was so happy. And I ended up throwing them away, guys. Called the fucking wedding off. No wedding. But this is not about that. This is about the car. So although that didn't work out, we went our separate ways. He agreed to continue to pay. You know, fine. You continue to pay for the car. I'm good. Like, I probably should not have been okay with that situation. But I always look at the world through my eyes, and I have to teach myself not to do that. If it were me, I would continue to pay for this car because I know it's in your name, and I don't want to mess up your name, and you actually did me a favor. That's through my eyes, through my lens, through my perspective. Everybody else don't think like that. So I should have been like, I'm sorry, it ain't working out. I'm going to take this car, whatever. I probably should have just gave the car back at that point. So that's kind of what I learned and what I took from that. And hopefully this can help someone else to not make this mistake, to get in this situation. Or if you're heading down a wrong road, just turn it in, baby. Turn it the fuck in. So I think he wasn't working anymore, right? So, you don't make the car payments. They're going to take the car. It's going to go on your credit. Oh, no. So 3 people, y'all, not 1, not 2, but 3 people was about to get this car off my hands Saturday. One person wanted her dad to look at it. Another person wanted to see it. And the third person was like, all right. Told him what kind of car it was. Told him how much the payments were. Let's do this. 3 people, y'all. Why? My mama called me one night and was like, are you home? I'm like, yeah. She was like, don't leave the house tonight. Whatever you do, don't leave the house. I'm like, okay, this is so weird. So I think she called my sister and told my sister everything, but she didn't tell me everything that night. So I was just like, okay, this is weird, whatever. So come to find out, the car got in an accident. I really don't even know the full story to this day, whatever. The police was calling my mom saying that there was an accident, hit and run, and we're going to put it on me. And my mom was basically saying, I always have my phone on. I have an iPhone and I keep location on so that my mom will know where I am. I'm her little wildflower and I'm here, there, traveling all the time and just like a little carefree spirit. So if anything should ever happen to me, she knows that I have my GPS on her. If she probably do wonder about me because everybody else has families. They have a significant other. Like, if she's not watching them, someone else is watching them. But with me, she knows that I'm alone. So I don't want her to worry so much, so I leave it on so that she can check on me. And I don't care if she knows where I'm at, strip club, his house, her house, whatever. Like, it's my mom. I don't care. So she was telling the police, like, hey, I have iPhone locator. She's at her house right now. I can have screenshots. If you guys want to see it, you can. To prove that wasn't me. I was home all night. So apparently there was an accident, hit and run, and whoever it was fled the scene. So the tow company came and towed the car. Now, before the accident, before the 3 people said they was going to take over the car, I did have a bright idea. Hey, let me get this out of my name. Let me get it in your name. Sign these paper. We was battling between the car loan person. I would send an email to the lady. The lady would say I signed on the wrong spot. I would send it back to him. He would sign it. Send it back to me. I would sign it. We send it back to her. We just could not get this signature thing right, no matter how many times we tried. So I kept sending. I thought we had got it right because I didn't hear anything else back. Last thing she said was, I'm going to put it on her desk, wait for it to be approved. So I'm thinking, good. It's in his name, or, about to be in his name, like whatever. Like it didn't, out of sight, out of mind. I didn't kind of check back in on that situation because I thought it was time. what I learned from that is until you receive something in the mail, it is not over and it is not done. For example, if you pay something off, ask for a payoff letter. Because if something should come back up, oh, you didn't pay, payment missing, this, that, the other, you got proof. You can take that to court. If it's in writing, you can take that to court. So just by me emailing her, I do have an email record. I still have those emails to today. Where he signed, I signed, and we were sending them to her. I'm sorry, y'all. I scratched my leg, and you know when it started to peel, when your scalp, I think when it's healing, it be itching. So it's itching right now, and I'm trying not to pick the scalp, but boy, that thing itched. So they towed the car, and I'm thinking, you know what? I signed the papers. They towed the car. The company gonna get it back. It's in his name, like, you know, whatever. Out of sight, out of mind. Like life moves on. This was back in 2014, y'all. 2014. Okay, so fast forward. I'm, learn about financial literacy. I find a credit repair specialist. Shout out to Whitney, Dream Credit Solutions. She get my credit score up. I get approved for a credit card for $15,000. I'm calling I'm looking at my credit report and doing settlements with all the people on my report. My credit score is going up. Y'all, baby girl is ready to buy a house, right? You can put a house on your vision board all day, but unless that credit score match up and you got your down payment and you got your 2 years of work history and you got your credit score, they is not finna pay you no attention unless you got cash money. So I was so excited, like, yes, I'm doing this thing. Everybody asking me about credit repair. They send my results. You know, I'm sending her referrals and stuff. And then all of a sudden, I started getting stuff in the mail. Now, at my job, people call in about scams all the time. We say, you know, ma'am, if you don't get a letter in the mail, it's pretty much a scam. We'll never threaten you with the police. We won't tell you to go get a gift card and pay us money. Like, you can always call us, do payment arrangements. Like, if you ever suspicious, hang up and just call us, right? So people calling, oh, you owe so-and-so. We're going to take it to court. Click. You know, I'm thinking it's a scam. Oh, you owe so-and-so. We're calling about a debt. And they don't really tell you. Is this Meesh Jackson? I'm going to need you to tell me why you calling. Because number one, if your name not saved in my phone, I'm not going to answer. So this was before I got to that point. Because if your name ain't in my phone and you definitely don't leave a message, that means you don't want to call back. So, I keep avoiding those numbers, and I actually started blocking them. Put them on my block list. So the calls were few and few. Then my brother said, somebody call you. I was like, oh, don't worry, it's a scam. Baby boy, baby girl. When I tell you I got a letter in the mail from Cleveland and Cleveland, this is another plug. Shout out to Cleveland and Cleveland, which ended up being my attorney that helped me through this whole ordeal. I did not know what to do, but and let me tell you, for all the business people, I love social media. I love my internet. I love LinkedIn. I love YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all of it. You could use it in addition to your own webpage, you could use it to promote business. Let me tell you, the old fashioned, now I'm such an internet baby. He did this old fashioned. He could have sent me an email. It probably would have went right in that spam. But when he mailed this to me, I opened it. So it's something about mail. We probably need to go back to mail, y'all. But it was like, this is a letter. If you have already retained a lawyer for this matter, then please regard this letter. Through review of the Clerk of Courts of Duval County, I have learned of a current lawsuit that has been filed against you or someone with your same first and last name. I obtained your address by reviewing the court records or various online directories and have attached a copy of the first page of the court's docket for your review. All right. Now, I was getting a lot of letters like this, but he was the only one that attached the clerk's docket. I'm going to finish this letter and then explain what that clerk docket was. So 3 of the areas of my law firm concentrates are bankruptcy, foreclosure defense, and debt defense. A common reason why people file bankruptcy is to give themselves a fresh start without the pressure and discouragement of pre-existing debt. The filing of bankruptcy may save a home from foreclosure or stop a lawsuit. However, having an experienced attorney defend a foreclosure or other lawsuit may be a better option to raise defenses to the lawsuit or to negotiate the debt. I have 20 years of experience as an attorney and worked for 10 years as an attorney for one of the largest debt collection law firms in Florida. Through my time at the firm, I litigated thousands of cases and learned the inner workings of the credit industry. In my experience, many people are unaware of the relief that bankruptcy can offer them or what defense may be raised in court when a foreclosure or other lawsuit is brought against them. It is important to contact an attorney immediately since lawsuits have time constraints on such things as raising defenses or appearing at pending court dates. My firm offers a free consultation to discuss whether bankruptcy or defending the lawsuit is right for you. If you would like to schedule a consultation, please contact my office. So this was Michael Ross Cleveland, attorney at law, from Cleveland and Cleveland, P.L. They are located Gate Parkway if you are in Jacksonville, Florida. And everyone at that office was so very nice to me. Now, y'all, this was dated February 21st, 2019. What is this month? We are in September. Let me tell you why I was mad. I got all my EINs together. I got all my logos. I got all my business ideas and plans. I'm like, yes, baby, we finna launch these businesses this year. Call me Boss Jackson, right? I guess Universal Spirit was like, nah, it ain't time yet. Because I'm just finishing with this. And it had me so wrapped up. It was nothing I could do from the business point of view until I got this out the way. So look at this. February 21st. So let's start with March. March made a month. March, April, May, June, July, August, September. 7 months out of my year. I'm supposed to be celebrating 7 months of being a business owner right now. A lot of people that started their businesses this year, I'm just looking at their pages like, yes, congratulations, do you? And I'm like, man, that was supposed to be me. Until this came into play. Okay. So we're going to get back to that in a minute. So the court docket. This is when I took him serious. When I saw the thing say U.S. Auto Credit Purchasing Center LLC plaintiff and Jamisha Jackson defendant. Oh, baby, this is real. This is what the fuck is real. This is in the courts. I'm like, oh my God. So I called him right away like, oh my fucking God, like what? This man was like, have you received anything in the mail? I'm like, no. He was like, good, we have time. So he was like, I explained to him everything that happened, like, good. I wasn't even thinking about bankruptcy, y'all. When that thing said debt defense, I'm like, good. I got my emails where me and him signed them paperwork. It's going in his name, like, whatever. I'm good. Just defend me in court, I got my emails. Because I was going to try to put it on him. That was my whole purpose. That I didn't know what bankruptcy was and never even thought about it. I worked at several call centers and I always hear it. I worked at Citibank, Bank of America, like a lot of banking industries. Even other industries, I've heard of bankruptcy. And you usually just transfer to that department. So I don't know the rules, laws, like what the fuck is a bankruptcy? I don't know. So, I'm like, good, it's going to be my defense attorney. I need somebody to defend me in court. So he said, call them first and see what's going on and then call me back. So I called the people and I'm like, hey, I was emailing your girl back and forth. Me and him signed the paperwork. It's supposed to be in his name. Like, what do you mean? Somebody's sending me paper talking about they taking me to court. She was like, well, you have two choices. You can, do an agreement with the person taking you to court, or you could do an agreement with us. Like, no, there is no agreement. This shit should not have anything to do with me. Now, mind y'all, I'm prepared to get a house. Like, this is not, I'm starting my business. I'm ready to get a house. Like, where the fuck did this come from? So, first, if you work at a call center, please give the people everything on that first call. Because when they ask for a manager and they hear something new, they're going to be pissed off. Because the manager is telling me something that you didn't tell me. So I would have been pissed if the manager told me the same thing the person told me, but they did not. The first person, them were the two options they gave me. When I spoke to the manager went through the notes and was like, well, I see there was an accident and yes, you did turn in the papers, but when we saw the accident, we didn't go forward with the transaction. Oh my God. Okay. So I'm like, damn. So I'm like, okay, let me go back to the attorney. I was like, thank you. You know, I went back to the attorney, told them. They're like, okay. So we do the free consultation when you want to come in. So let's just, I got a few questions. Let's go over everything, and then I'll tell you best course of action. So I go in, free consultation, right? This man says, list all of your income and list all of your debt. Y'all, it's just me. I'm done with school, so no more, financial aid. That is out the window. The refunds that I was getting because of school, that's finna be out the window. It's just me. I pay rent all by myself, not splitting that with nobody. I pay car note, insurance, lights, water. This is what we all do. We're adults, right? But the point I'm making is I don't have no help. This is all me. Every dime I get is paying for me. My parents not sending me no extra money. My sister's not sending me. My brother's not sending me. I don't have no sugar daddy. I need to find one, but it's just all on me, right? So he go over all my income. Now remember this credit card, $15,000. I'm not going to say that I did the right thing with the credit card. I definitely bought myself some things. I bought my girl my iPad. I bought me like a watch. I bought a nice purse. My intentions was to pay it back, so I wasn't really worried about the credit card. But when this, and I also settled a lot of debts, and that's how my credit score was going up too. I would call the people, I would ask them to settle. I used to work at Citibank in the collections department. You can, and it will give you numbers that you could settle at. I remember when people used to be calling in, I can settle for 60 right now. 60, 75, get your manager to approve it. They'll write the check and be end of it. So I knew 65, 70. Settle it right now. Send me a letter in the mail. Boom. So I already knew the talk. And I was getting that stuff off. But it was going on the card. And I was just going to pay the card back. That man went over my expenses. He went over my interest. He was like, baby, you're drowning. Now, mind you, IRS was shut down last year for like 2 months. So, although they did pay us back 2 months later, and there were some government agencies that were assisting us with rent and light, they didn't care about your car note. They didn't care about your insurance. So I was putting that shit on the card too. And when you put stuff on a card and you're not getting income, so you're not able to pay, that's 2 months behind plus 2 months interest. Like, I literally was drowning, but I was getting paid and paying it, getting paid and paying it. Like, floating. Not in a boat, but just floating. So he was like, well, what I'm looking at, you just need to write it all off. He was like, because usually we could just settle for the car. But when I went over all of your expenses, let's just write it off and give you a fresh start. It's going to be on your record anyway, so let's just write it all off. So I was like, okay. Okay, so free consultation is over. Baby boy hand me a paper with my prices. Let me go over these prices with you. Attorney fees due a retainer. Retainer is like, yes, I want you to represent me. And then they're going to give you the next step. So you got to pay, boom, for them to even start representing you. So $500. Now, granted, when you do bankruptcy, they tell you to stop paying this stuff. So stop paying your credit card. They tell you to pay your essentials. So lights, water, rent, car note, insurance. But everything else that is going to be written off, like the credit card, and don't worry about paying the car people, that kind of frees up some of your money so that you can pay them. However, I'm just getting back off of furlough, trying to catch up on other bills, and it took me a minute to come up with that $500 because this process started in February. Okay, so after I gave him the $500, they told me what to do. It was some things that I had to turn in to the court to let them know that I had an attorney representing me and that we were moving forward with information about the case. I get a knock on the door. I have a nonprofit organization, so I invite the girls over. We having a little Auntie Boo's birthday party because it was my niece Jasmine's birthday. Knock. First, the man had put a sticker on my door, and apparently I had missed him before. Knock. This man served me. And it was like, a lawsuit has been filed against you. You have 20 calendar days. This is a summons to serve you to file a written response to the complaint in court. y'all. And he had me sign some paperwork. And this is really what made me mad. This is really why I went forward with the attorney. Now, the car was $9,250, right? I could have easily, not easily, it would have been a struggle, but I could have taken care of that. Because the car that I have now is $15,000. But number one, I'm not driving it. Number two, I didn't wreck it. Number three, it was for someone else, and I really wanted to put it back on them. So, no. I'm trying to go forward in life, not backwards. But when it said time with the interest at 25%, that took it from 9 to 13. No, ma'am. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. At 25% interest. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. So, after I paid the $500, they gave me a price of what else I need to pay. So it said remaining attorney fees due before filing. So before I could even file everything to the court, I had to come up with $1,065, and then the filing cost itself is $335. So I'm gonna pause right there. My sister actually read this book, which is called Personal Bankruptcy Laws for Dummies by James P. Caher, bankruptcy attorney, and John M. Caher, legal journalist. Oh, they're family. That's really cute. And I have the information in the details. But she was able to read that and do the bankruptcy for her spouse on her own. And so she only had to worry about the $335. But because I went for an attorney, I had to pay $5 to $65 plus $335. Which is $1,900. I don't know about you guys, but that was a lot of money for me. Even when I got my car, not the car that I had got for him, but my first, because my parents got my first car. So I don't know what the down payment was for that. We just started making payment. The second car that I ever got was for my ex-lover. And then the other car that I just got for me, March made a year that I had her, I only had to put down $500. And the way that worked, shout out to Carvana. I actually have a promo. So if you want to give me credit for Carvana, I'll give you my little code. So let me just pull that up. And I'm actually going to make business cards with this little promo on it and put it in my bags for when I start my business. Okay, so it says share your link and start earning $200 per person who buys from Carvana. So the reference number would be https://www.carvana.com/referral/Jamisha-Jackson-1. So that's my referral. Now, Carvana doesn't give you money, but what they do, which I love, is the $200 that I will collect, it goes to helping a needy family get a car. And I've learned in life, it's not always about the money. It's about good things that you do from your heart for other people. Honestly, it really is about helping other people without them paying you back, to be honest. I don't know if you guys have ever been in a situation where you haven't been able to pay for something and somebody pays for you, but that's the best feeling in the world because they could have used that money on whatever they wanted to, and they decided to invest in you. So that's my code for the Carvana. And I love Carvana because I literally was online. I knew what I wanted. I wanted a camera. I wanted it silver. I wanted it sparkly. I wanted it inside to be black. I definitely wanted the backup mirror. Like, that was my number one thing. If it didn't have the rearview mirror to back up, I did not want it. This was in 2018, and Carvana doesn't sell you the same years. They sell you a year prior. So she's a 2017. But she only had, I want to say, like 9 miles on her. She already had like tinted windows. So the dealer did give her tinted windows. And there was a recall on it. But when I called Nissan, they said that my VIN number was good. So I'm good. And when I tell you, I looked at it online. I put it in my cart. I signed all of my paperwork. No. Best thing about Carvana is you get to say how much you want to pay monthly. And you also get to say how much you want to put down. So, of course, the more you put down, the smaller your payments. So, you can't do a low payment and a low down payment. It's not going to work that way. And you also get to look at the interest rate. So, before I got her, I tried to go through drive time. I gave the lady my information while I was at work. This hoe ran my credit 4 times, and I'm still waiting for them to drop off my credit right now, sometime next year. But, and she still had like she couldn't get me no car. So while I go on Carvana and I'm already approved for a car. I'm just clicking to see what my down payment is going to be and what my freaking monthly payments are going to be. Like, and I don't have to wait in the office all day. Like, my best friend, she just got a brand new car and she was in the office all day. She had to go back the next day to get the car. Like, they literally make you wait while they negotiate for them banks. No. How about you negotiate the banks and call me back later when you're ready? But back to Carvana. The lady brought the car to me. And I didn't even pay the down payment that day. I got my keys, and they didn't even take the down payment until like 3 days later. Because you just put your bank information on there. So, shout out to Carvana. I will always rep them. I got the little car thing on my car. I won't take it down. I will always recommend them. I'm going to get me a shirt made. Like, when nobody really fuck with you and somebody do fuck with you hard, you fuck with them harder. Like, drive time wasn't trying to give me a car, and they hit my credit 4 times. Carvana did not even hit my credit. I was approved for a car, and the bitch brought it to me. But anyways, back to this freaking bankruptcy. So I paid the $500. It was a struggle paying that. I had to save up again. My parents, they are definitely there for me if I need them. I definitely try not to lean on them because I know one day they're not going to be here. And if I program myself to always call them when I need them, when they are not here, I'm going to be stressed the fuck out. So I always try to figure it out. I just did not have that money. So I thought I could borrow it all for them. So I was prepared to renew my lease, continue paying my bills. Like, I'm going to just get the money from my parents and just pay my parents back. But my parents was like, we remodeling the house. Other stuff is going on. Like, we can't give it all to you, but this is what we can give you. So they gave me half. I had already put down 5. I need to come up with $1,400. So they gave me 7. I had to come up with another 7. Well, my lease was coming up, and I had already messed up with my lease. Like, the trash man was coming. Okay, I get off at 8:30, and the trash man will already pick up the trash by the time I get home. Well, what's the purpose of having valet if I can never have access to the trash? Now, I'm a girl, again, I live by myself. I don't want to be dragging this trash in my car all the way across the street to the damn dumpster. Everybody else is getting their trash taken care of. Take mine. They didn't want you to leave it out in the morning. They didn't want you to leave it out at night. It had to be a specific time. Well, bitch, I go to work and I work overtime. So what do you want me to do? So I already got mad at the man. Was like, and when it's time to renew the lease, hell no, I'm not renewing the lease. I had to eat them words. So it came time to renew the lease. The man had already put the notice on my window. You're supposed to tell them 90 days in advance. I didn't even think to say, hey, well, I'm going to stay 90 days before. So my 90 days had come and gone. The man put a lease on the door like, here's a reminder that your last day is so-and-so. So I'm like, fuck. Now I got to find somewhere to stay. So when I gave him that $500, he put stuff in the court. It go your credit instantly. Boom. What I didn't know was this was going to cause a problem with me finding a place to stay. They don't care that you make enough to pay $1,400 a month. They don't care what your income is. They looking at that, whatever that criteria is yes, no, whatever. It's nobody you could talk to. It is what it is. When I tell y'all, I found this beautiful house from KB Realty. I showed every fucking body. I went and viewed the house. I'm going to do YouTube on it. And the man was going to work with me like, yeah, put this down, and then that buys you 2 weeks. Put another amount down, then that buys you 30 days. You just come up with the rest when you're ready to move in. Like, yes, we better do this. 3-bedroom, 2-bath, brand fucking new. No one else has lived in it. My ass cheeks will be the first to touch the toilet. And there's a garage, front yard, backyard. Like, the same amount that I'm paying for apartments now, but more rooms, more bathrooms, front yard, backyard, and a garage. So just more for the same dollar that you're paying. When I turned in that application fee, baby was like, when you file this, you have to come back in 2 years. I'm like, 2 years? You know I can buy a whole house in 2 years within filing bankruptcy? Why am I going to wait to come back and rent? So I looked at that. I didn't get approved. I looked at a trailer, y'all. Fucking trailer. Didn't get approved. I was going to move in Ttyl apartments. Didn't get approved. I was about to move into Bentley Green. Didn't get approved. Now, one thing, it was 2 things on there. Before, when I stayed in an apartment, there was a notice on my door saying that I was going to get evicted, but I was able to pay before that happened. And that happened twice because I was living with my sister as a roommate, and then we didn't live together anymore. I had to come up with the other half of the rent by myself. So I didn't save up for that. I didn't prepare for that. I didn't know that was going to happen. And so it was hard for me to come up with the money on my own. And when I had started my job, I was at the beginning. You get a raise every year. So that first year was really hard because you really not getting as much as what I'm making now. Baby, if I had that rent now, I'd be set. It was 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I could easily pay that now. But that apartment had like mold. We were in the back by the lake. It was like really moldy. But it's some apartments on Sunbeam if y'all live in Jacksonville. What were they called? Was it Lee Meadows? They were really, really nice. If it wasn't for that mold, I would have definitely went back. But what they put on my credit, when the apartment people see it, it looks like an eviction. They don't know that you paid it and you still stayed there and you finished their lease. So I had called the people downtown. They were telling me, baby, you don't owe them. The man was like, baby, you don't owe them. Come print out these papers so you can show the apartments that, the bankruptcy started basically telling you if you don't pay this by this date, we're going to file. But you were able to pay and it didn't go through. So I was able to print those papers back, and I told Bentley Green, I told Ttyl, and I think they wanted me to come back in and do some more stuff. But I just wanted to know, like, do I have it, yes or no? Plus, I still didn't have the money to move in yet, so I was still kind of waiting to see what was going to happen with this bankruptcy. So, lease is up. I'm like, damn. I call my sisters. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Do I need to stay in a hotel? Like, what? Both of them was like, you can stay with me. I honestly thought I could stay in a hotel, but this stuff was just starting to add up. I was behind. I was literally like drowning. So I was so thankful that I was able to stay with them. I didn't just stay with one. I stayed with both. So I spent 3 weeks in one house, 3 weeks in another house. And I was so bitchy. Like, I come from a family of 6, and my mom called me a crab. My grandma called me a crab. Like, I love staying in my room. Like, right now I have a whole 2-bedroom. Where am I in my room? I just love being by myself. Like, it was always somebody in every room. The kitchen, the bathroom, the living room, the den. Like, everywhere you turn, it was a person. So I do love solitude. Like, it's just me. And I can walk around naked if I want to. And I don't have to wash the dishes. And my clothes can be on the floor. Like, I just like me world. So staying with other people, you're more tidy. You're trying to stay out of everybody's way. You're kind of like on your toes. And this is family. Now, I fucks with them. My sister's always going to be there for me. And I'm always going to be there for them. We fight. We love each other. Whatever. That's just kind of how life is. We're going to always love each other regardless. But it's nothing like having your own. So I'm staying with them. I'm catching up on my bills. I'm saving. I'm, getting the money for the attorney. So I come up with my $700. My parents give me the other. Boom, I get them the check. I'm thinking it's done, y'all. No. There is a freaking timeline for this stuff. Okay, so I filed on May 16th when I finally came up with the money, y'all. So this is February, staying with my sister 2nd. May 16th, I finally came up with the money, and they filed. And then, you know what they say? Oh, we have to wait for your court date, which is June 27th. I thought all of this was going to be done. So I had to wait for my court date. Then when you go to your court date, which was really fast, the man just kind of go over everything that you have to have. And he records you saying that it's true. So the things that you have to have are, let's see, I got them list somewhere here. I had to print out so much shit, y'all. If you came over my house, you saw all them papers everywhere. You have to have all 3 credit reports from Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. And you can get a free copy from www.annualcreditreport.com. You have to have your last 3 years of tax returns with W-2s or 1099s. You have to have your pay stubs for 7 months. You have to have your last 6 months of bank statements. Now, the rest of this don't really apply to me, or some of it don't. You have to have all deeds of real estate, including mortgage, warranty, quitclaim deeds, a copy of the most current mortgage statement, automobile title, if you don't have the title because it's still finance, registrations, any creditor information from creditors not listed on your credit report, primarily medical, picture ID card, and social security and other documents containing your social security number, any insurance policies, any papers relating to past bankruptcies you or your spouse have filed or that concern any of your property, including Chapter 13 cases, legal papers, lawsuits, eviction notices, divorce papers, separation agreements, alimony, orders, child support orders, any appraisals or tax assessment papers, any other papers you have concerning any other debt. So you have to get all that together, y'all. I ran out of ink. Oh, no, that's not it. Sorry, that was only 13. 14. Any lease or installment, sale, lease, purchase, rent to own agreements for housing, apartment, house, mobile, or the property, car, television, etc. that you have signed or that's still in effect or not fully paid. Any document showing that someone else regularly contributed to your household expenses. Any document showing monthly expenses and income. List all personal property, including the values. List all monthly expenses. Certificate of completion of credit counseling completed within the last 6 months. I had to come up with all of that, y'all. Oh, my God. So, I get all of that. We turn it in. I go in front of the trustee. He records me saying that everything is true and valid. And it was done within like 5 minutes. I sat down. There was 2 people in front of me. I was number 3. And then I was out. You can leave when you're done. You don't have to wait for everybody. So, I left. And then I think it's over. No, you have to wait till August 26th for anybody else to object. I'm like, really? So I finally got everything in the mail saying that it's discharged. I don't owe anything. Thank you, Jesus. I don't have to worry about that car. I don't have to worry about my check being garnished. I just have to kind of start over with my credit, which is okay. It's not bad. It's not where I was. It knocked me down a bit. You do have to take a credit counseling course, so I do want to shout out the Mesquite Group. So it's www.themesquitegroup.org. It's $24 per household to register online, and over the phone is $30 a person or $40 for a couple. And you have to do a debtor's education, which is your second certificate, and that's $12.50 a person. And it's just an interactive course. It can be done online or on the phone. $25 per person or a couple, $40 over the phone. I learned a lot with that. I learned that what your income should be, what your expenses. Like, there's a calculation for this. You should only spend a certain percentage on food, a certain percentage on income, certain percentage on car. Like, there's a science behind all of your expenses, which is why I'm now starting to get into financial literacy, because that's what that class reminded me of. And this is literally what they should teach you in 12th grade before you enter the world. You should go over this stuff. But that's okay. I learned. I took the bullet. I'm going to help somebody else, and hopefully I don't make the same mistake. But that was just my story about the car. So that was just what I went through. But I'm going to explain what bankruptcy is, the different chapters, and let you guys hear some other things about bankruptcy. So that was just what I went through.
I have a lot of questions, so here we go. I hope these answers free people. This one is about child support, so tell everybody you know to listen to this one. Okay, here we go. My husband has $36,000 in back child support that he owes, and has a car which he leases and is 2 months behind paying on, and it's about to be repossessed. He also has $1,000 in credit card debt. He is employed part-time but doesn't make enough to pay his back child support, although he is up to date with paying current amount of $90 per week. Would it be a good idea for him to file a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13 bankruptcy? Well, first of all, let me help you understand that bankruptcy is a tool to preserve wealth. So a lot of people tell people, don't file bankruptcy, don't file bankruptcy. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not going to tell you to go and run and file bankruptcy, but I am going to tell you to consider it as an option. Let me tell you why. Because the wealthy use bankruptcy to preserve wealth. They'll say, hey, my cash flow is going to be down to $500 million in 6 months. So before that happens, we want to reorganize, start over, start the company in someone else's name so we can preserve our assets. Poor people think bankruptcy is illegal. They think it's wrong. They think God gonna get them, all this other kind of stuff. So by the time poor people get to the bankruptcy court, broke was 62 stages ago. You were broke a long time ago. Now you have leveraged your mortgage, your house, you have sold everything, and now at the end you file bankruptcy. So if you're gonna file bankruptcy, I'm gonna tell you to do it as soon as you can, not after you lose all of your wealth. Let me tell you something else. If they are coming to repossess your car, then guess what? They're still going to want the money after they take the car. So there's a way to save your car. That's filing bankruptcy and putting the past due payments either in a Chapter 13 monthly payment, or if you're going to discharge all of your debts completely in a Chapter 7 and you want to keep your car, you may even be eligible for a 722 redemption, which means they will take the current value of your car, create a new payment based on the current value, not the old value, and adjust your interest rate and your payment so that the car can be affordable. So regarding the repossession, I highly recommend that you seek some recourse for that. Now, regarding the child support, let me tell you something, everybody. You cannot get away from child support. Ladies, if you are married to or thinking about marrying a man who has children and child support is or becomes a part of the equation, then it's going to be your problem. Men, don't run. Let me tell you something. I love my father, but my father is in his 60s and he's still paying child support to my mother. He cannot get a passport. There are certain things that he cannot do. You must pay your child support. Forget all this stuff about it might not be my child. Get a DNA test and move on. And if the child is yours, figure out a way. Do whatever you have to do. Eat beans and rice. Get a side hustle. Go drive for Uber Eats. Whatever you have to do. But get enough money to pay that child support so that it does not haunt you for the rest of your life.
All right. So I found a couple of articles online and I wanted to kind of share it with you. And this is coming from Wikipedia. All right, so Wikipedia says bankruptcy is a legal process through which people or other entities who cannot repay debts to creditors may seek relief for some or all of the debts. In most jurisdictions, bankruptcy is imposed by a court order, often initiated by the debtor. So that was one. Okay, then it goes over the history. And I don't want to do other countries. I just want to do ours. United Kingdom. Okay, so United States. Bankruptcy in the United States is a matter placed under federal jurisdictions by the United States Constitution in Article 1, Section 8, Clause 4, which empowers Congress to enact uniform laws on the subject of bankruptcies throughout the United States. Congress has enacted statutes governing bankruptcy primarily in the form of bankruptcy codes located at Title 11 of the United States Code. A debtor declares bankruptcy to obtain relief from debt, and this is normally accomplished either through a discharge of the debt or through a reconstructing of the debt. When a debtor files a voluntary petition, their bankruptcy case commences. So there's different chapters. There's 6 types of bankruptcies under the Bankruptcy Code located at Title 11 of the United States Code. Chapter 7, Basic liquidation for individuals and businesses, also known as straight bankruptcy. It is the simplest and quickest form of a bankruptcy available. Chapter 9, Municipal Bankruptcy, a federal mechanism for the resolution of municipal debts. Chapter 11, Rehabilitation or recognition, used primarily by business debtors, but sometimes by individuals with substantial debts and assets, known as corporate bankruptcy. It is a form of corporate financial recognition which typically allows companies to continue to function while they follow debt repayment plans. Chapter 12, Rehabilitation for family farmers and fishermen. Chapter 13, Rehabilitation with a payment plan for individuals with a regular source of income, enables individuals with regular income to develop a plan to repay all or part of their debts, also known as wage earner bankruptcy. Chapter 15, Ancillary and other international cases, provides a mechanism for dealing with bankruptcy debtors and help foreign debtors to clear debt. All right. And there was one more thing on here. I think that was it for Wikipedia. So that was Wicca. I love my Wicca. And then this is Bankruptcy Myths You Should Not Believe from newhorizon.org. Number 1, you will never recover from damage bankruptcy brings. True, filing for bankruptcy will erase all of your credit history, but the damage does not need to last forever. You will have the chance to reestablish your credit history and build up your personal credit score immediately after your debts have been discharged from bankruptcy. Number 2, you must wait for 7 years before you can apply for new credit. A record of bankruptcy will remain in your credit report for 7 years, but it does not mean you should wait that long before you can acquire new credit. The only way you can reestablish credit history is by acquiring new credit. Search the market and you can find creditors and loan providers who are willing to grant approval to customers who have been discharged for bankruptcy for at least 2 years. During this span of time, you can take steps to start rebuilding credit, such as acquiring a department store credit card, a prepaid credit card, or a secured credit card. Number 3, you should immediately file for bankruptcy to escape from debts. Since the new bankruptcy laws have been approved, the application process for bankruptcy has been tightened to discourage consumers from declaring bankruptcy while other solutions are available. For example, you must first complete a credit counseling session with an accredited credit counseling agency before you can file for bankruptcy. It's important to remember that although bankruptcy is not a dead end, it should only be taken as a last resort after other solutions have been considered. Number 4, all your debts can be discharged from bankruptcy. When you file for bankruptcy, you will be subject to income means tests. The bankruptcy court will make a decision whether you qualify for Chapter 7 or Chapter 13 bankruptcy. All your debts can be discharged in the court. All your debts can be discharged if the court decides that you are qualified for a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. That's what I had. On the other hand, if the court finds that you are capable of repayment, a Chapter 13 bankruptcy will give you the chance to pay your creditors under the protection of bankruptcy law. This means a certain percentage of your monthly salary will be paid to your creditors, making sure that a sufficient amount of your income is reserved for your monthly expenses. I think they said that wrong. Making sure that a sufficient amount of your income is reserved for your monthly expenses. I don't know why they had a U and an A there. In addition, there are types of debts such as child support, student loans, and tax liens that cannot be discharged by bankruptcy. So, I probably need to show this to my sister because she was thinking about her student loans, but I keep seeing over and over again, I don't know about the student loans. My other sister said maybe yes with the student loans. Maybe they changed the law on that one. And then number 5, declaring bankruptcy is a quick process. Preparing and submitting bankruptcy application can be a complicated task. It was, you guys. I was literally about to pull my hair, and I heard that buying a home is 10 times worse. It is very important to provide accurate information when filling out a bankruptcy filling out a bankruptcy application. This is why it is recommended that a person seek advice and assistance from an attorney who specializes in bankruptcy cases. So although I could have wanted my sister, I don't know, something was leading me to the attorney, and that's who I went with. And I'm kind of glad I did because he definitely helped me out. So sometimes you do pay for what you get, you guys. I know he had my best interest at heart. So thank you. So remember I was telling you guys I had a hard time finding a house. So 10 tips for renting an apartment after bankruptcy. This is exactly what I found too. So it said there are 10 tips let me start from the beginning. Finding an apartment to rent after going through bankruptcy can be a challenge, but it's definitely possible. In many cities, landlords can't afford to be quite as selective as they were in the past regarding potential tenants' credit. If you're in the situation of needing to find a place to live and you're worried about how your bankruptcy will impact your apartment search, there are some things you can do right now to make your search easier and more successful. The 10 tips for renting an apartment after bankruptcy you'll learn about in this article are: 1. Be upfront about your financial situation with potential landlords. 2. Rent from a private property owner. 3. Use your past rental history. 4. Offer a larger security deposit on an apartment. 5. Have a job or proof of income. 6. Gather a list of references. 7. Look for no credit check apartments. 8. Search for rentals near a college or university. 9. Have a co-signer for your lease. 10. Be proactive about approving your credit score. So that was from toughnickel.com. It's in the info. And there was one other story that was very, very encouraging. And this is exactly how I felt. So I just want to read this moment because you feel like a bad person for doing this. So this comes from stickynotemom.com. Nobody ever expects their life to be a mess, either financially or emotionally. Our mess was financial, and we learned so much from the bankruptcy that changed our lives for the better. In 2010, my husband lost his job. We were a single-income family and had 2 months' savings at the time. We didn't think he would be out of a job for longer than 2 months, but he was, and we went through all of our savings. I wrote all about this in this post. This is what happened when my husband lost his job. I encourage you to read it. Defining moment. Unemployment was a humbling experience for us. We lived on food stamps, we had Medicaid insurance for our kids, and we ended up filing bankruptcy. I remember the day at our court date for bankruptcy, being in the courthouse and being asked questions by the judge about how much we made, our children, our home. I remember sweating because I was so scared. I had only been in court once before for a speeding ticket. This was so different. The judge was nice. He excused us from our debts, and we left the courthouse debt-free, no longer homeowners, and humble. The only thing we owned were our cars that we had that were 6 and 8 years old. You can definitely say that we had hit rock bottom. Back then, we didn't know what was going to happen. We ended up staying in the house for almost 2 years. This happened because the housing market had just crashed and there were so many homes that were foreclosure. During that time, my husband got a job and we were able to save some money. We saved and saved and saved. We didn't have a credit card, so we could only pay cash for stuff. There was a recovery period where we didn't expect would be as long as it was. Just because my husband was employed, it didn't mean that we had a boatload of money. It meant that now we could live without needing help. We still had to figure out how to save money and our new budget. Bankruptcy definitely changed our life for the better. Fear of going through it again. Since we had gone through it once, we had a fear that we might go through it again. Because of this fear, we saved a lot more. We often had debt in our car and in our houses. We only had debt in our car and in our houses. This fear that we have is valid. It's like when you get in a car crash, you're worried all the time that you may get in another. Now we just have parameters around how much we should spend. Cash is king. We only spend cash. Our debit cards are what we use. We know that if we don't have the money for something, then we can't buy it. Before, we use our credit cards and pay it off over time. Now we don't even think that way. We wait to purchase something until we have the cash. We value what we have. When you have nothing, you are stressed because there's so much you need and you just didn't have the money for it. Here's a quick list of what we value: our jobs, our home, our cars, and our furniture. All of it except the car and house we pay cash. So we own it free and clear. It's so freeing to know that the couch I'm sitting on is paid for and I don't have to look for a monthly bill. The TV we have, we own it outright, and if anything happens to it, we have the money to replace it, and that is so freeing. We're also able to teach our children. Since we only spend cash on things, we are able to teach our children about only using cash. They see us swipe our debit cards, but we explain to them we only have a certain amount of money to spend. We also teach them that by waiting, we are able to see it if the item goes on sale. Try it. You'll be amazed at how much they're paying attention to your conversations about money. I thought that was really, really cool. And then lastly, I wanted to go over I just wanted you to know that bankruptcy is something that everyone has access to, including celebrities. So I have 2 different articles that go over celebrity bankruptcy cases, and the first one comes from businessinsider.com, and it's 16 famous people who bounce back after being broke or bankrupt. And the first one is my baby, 50 Cent, was discharged from bankruptcy. The rich and famous can afford the best things in life. However, some of them barely had any money to their name before they achieved success, while others got into financial difficulties after making their riches. We used our own research as well as data from GoCompare.com, There and Back Again project to find out which celebrities have made dramatic comebacks. From Will Smith to Lady Gaga, a surprising amount of famous names have filed for or have been close to filing for bankruptcy at some point in their lives. Scroll down to see 16 successful people who managed to bounce back from being broke or even officially bankrupt. So Will Smith owed $2.8 million to the IRS. Lady Gaga was technically bankrupt during her 2009 tour. Mike Tyson was $23 million in debt and filed for bankruptcy in 2003. Donald Trump companies have gone bankrupt 6 times. 50 Cent filed for bankruptcy in 2015, despite once being worth an estimated $155 million. Kim Basinger filed for bankruptcy in 1993 while being sued by a production company. Walt Disney was left bankrupt from his first film company. Meatloaf filed for bankruptcy and was hit with health problems that left him unable to sing. Cyndi Lauper went bankrupt after her manager sued her in 1981. Abraham Lincoln paid off his debts until the 1840s, then became president in 1861. Larry King filed for bankruptcy the same year he was offered a national nightly TV slot. Marvin Gaye declared bankruptcy in 1976 after he owed his ex-wife $600,000. Okay, Marvin Gaye. MC Hammer filed for bankruptcy protection in 1996 with at least $10 million of debt. Former Westlife singer Shane Phelan filed for bankruptcy in 2002 with $23 million of debt. Burt Reynolds owed creditors $10 million and had declared bankruptcy in 1998. George Foreman was on the verge of bankruptcy before he went back into boxing. I didn't know he went back into boxing, so that was one. And then the last one comes from Time.com. So 13 celebrities who went bankrupt. So again, they list 50 Cent, Tony Braxton, MC Hammer, Larry King, Gary Coleman, Mike Tyson, Burt Reynolds, Cyndi Lauper, Tom Petty, Marvin Gaye, Mick Fleetwood, Wayne Newton, Gary Busey. So kind of the same people there. So the last thing that I'm going to leave you with is nothing in life is by happy chance. I think sometimes when we go through things, it's not even for us. It could be for someone else. You help someone else prevent the same mistakes. Or, if they're going to listen. And sometimes it's for you. Sometimes you got to go through stuff to get the bigger picture as well. So the last recording that you'll hear is about a guy that explains the importance of learning from people. So if you didn't get anything out of this podcast, then hopefully you'll be able to learn something, because that's exactly what he's going to say. That was all. Good night.
We miss a lot of lessons and things we can learn from people in life because we are always judging. I don't believe you can judge and learn at the same time. When it comes to every single person around you, you should be able to learn something from them. No matter the financial status that they are, No matter even how smart you are, you can learn so many things from a stupid person. Become a people watcher. Become a person that stays teachable. We should be learning from each and every person around us. There's even certain people that I despise that I learn so much from. Even if you don't like them, even if you think you're smarter than them, even if you got more money than them, even if whatever you're doing, number one, stop judging them and start fucking learning from them. You can literally say like, oh, that was a dumb move. Oh, such and such, they stupid. They went broke. And you can leave it at that. Instead of knowing the details and learning from that situation and making sure that you don't apply those same mistakes to your life.
And this concludes today's conversation. Thanks a million for listening. You can reach me on other social media platforms at www.linktr.ee/LUV.MEESH www.linktree/love.meesh. I hope you have a better than great day. Love you. Talk to you later. Mwah. Bye.